It's a throwback to the owner's bachelor days. Hi, it's Bud Wilkinson. Today it's a story on a 1969 Alfa Romeo Spider. He actually calls it the last bastion of his bachelorhood. Bill Dyer of Shelton, Connecticut, bought the two-seat roadster that was made in Italy more than 56 years ago.
A friend of mine and I both got out of the Army in 1969, and we decided to go to Europe and spend $5 a day reading Arthur Fromer's book. And we got there, and I decided we needed to buy a car. I'd planned to. I'd already sold my car in the United States, so I ended up, a friend of mine directing me to a dealer in Gießen, Germany. And I fell in love with the car the minute I saw it, and so I bought it and drove it around Europe and shipped it back, and been putting money into it ever since.
It's a gorgeous car. There's no arguing the styling of it. But even back then, Italian cars did not have a good reputation.
Well, my first thought was to buy a used Porsche. And then I looked at a couple of dealers and I said, if I were a German, would I want to come to New Jersey and buy a used American car? I said, I think I'd be better buying a brand new car when I know what the history is. So that's how I ended up buying this car, because I couldn't afford a new Porsche.
And this was affordable.
This was $3,200 out the door. Now there are about 85,000 miles on it. It was a family car for the first few years, and then it wasn't practical, and so we've added lots of cars in between.
So where did you take it in Europe, and what adventures did you have in it?
Well, as I said, we went over there with the idea of reading Arthur Fromer's book and experiencing Europe on $5 a day. The only time we actually had to sleep in the car was when we got to Munich in the middle of Oktoberfest, and there was no hotels or whatever, so we just slept in the car. Every else we had found a hotel or something comparable, hostel, whatever, to sleep in. So we did drive around. We were in 8 different countries, of course Germany, where we got it, Denmark, Holland, Belgium, Austria, Italy, France, and Spain. And then I shipped it back from Le Havre, France to Brooklyn.
Alfa Romeo built the Spider from the 1966 through 1993 model years. Dyer's is an example of the first-generation Spider. It's powered by a 1750cc four-cylinder engine and has a 5-speed manual transmission. What does it drive like?
Well, it's very responsive to the wheel. You turn the wheel a little bit and it turns it very nicely. It's very agile. It's fun on, mountainous roads and that sort of thing.
Why have you kept it all these years?
My wife, my in-laws, a lot of people have asked me that, and I don't know that I got a great answer, but fortunately when, after a while we were able to afford 2 drivable cars plus this one, and so it's it's the last bastion of my bachelorhood. I mean, come on, Anyway, it's still fun to drive, and when you drive through and kids turn and look and wow, I've never seen a car with a boat tail like that. It's, you get a little lift. So,
do you drive it a lot now or not?
No, probably 500 miles during the year, mainly I take it up to Westerly, Rhode Island, where we have a small summer cottage, and it's fun to drive around there, and the local mechanic has taken a real interest in it, and so he makes sure it's at least safe to drive for the summer. Eventually,
Dyer hopes to hand down the Spider to another family member. That's my ride. In Shelton, Connecticut for CT Insider, I'm Bud Wilkinson.